In this box, we have a fake Taylormade sim driver. And what made it worse was I was the guy that broke it to the gentleman that it wasn't legitimate. That doesn't actually even fit in the bottom there. Curiosity, and I imagine a lot of you would be upset if I didn't actually try and put it in. Guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. Simon, down here at home, I busted my knee, is in a lot of pain. I did my ligaments ages ago and I think I've been overdoing it in the gym and obviously long drive training. So I'm decided to give today a rest from obviously walking on the golf course or hitting golf balls. But I'm lucky because I've had a few of you guys send me some quite interesting stuff, and especially this one from Chris. I'm going to give you the full background of exactly what happened and how we're going to make a good scenario, or a bad scenario, good. I'm going to fully reimburse, by the way, Chris, for this driver. He said he didn't want any money for it. I'm going to use ad revenue from this video and the other video that we're going to be using to obviously pay him back. And if those videos do incredibly well, then I'm going to give him more money than what he paid for this driver. So if you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like, subscribing if new, and comment down below if you found this video useful, because we do have a fake sim driver in the box, and I haven't really seen any sim drivers out on the market, or even seen it in the flesh, but I saw the telltale signs, and that's the whole point of this video. We're going to get out, I'm going to show you the telltale signs of how to spot a fake in the wild. And the age-old argument of if it's too good to be true, it probably is, sometimes isn't the case, because I've shown you multiple deals where I'm getting it for a fraction of the price and it does turn out to be real. So, as I said, if you wouldn't mind leaving this video a like, subscribing if you are new. So for you guys that don't know, I have like a private WhatsApp group with my paying membership where I upload like extra content, link in description, cheeky plug. But we also have a WhatsApp group where we talk about deals or coaching or just general stuff anyway. And Chris told us that he was getting a Sim Max for £100, which is a great deal. That, as I say, they go for like 180, 190 pounds. And from this photo, when I initially saw it, I just thought, oh yeah, great deal, because you can't really tell anything from that. He then went to go and pick it up. So later on in the day, he sent the photos of it, and this was the bit that alarmed me straight away when I saw it in the pictures. And you can see those face ports don't necessarily have a hole in them, they're almost just stuck on, as well as the twist face just didn't look as official. Not only that, it had a dent in it, and this was definitely the bit that caught my eye. The blue, as you can see down the bottom there, the Sim Max has never been blue. It's always been black as carbon, with the blue white line with the blue two decals at the bottom there, but the actual like carbon bit sadly has never been blue. So I was the one that then had to send the voice message to Chris to say, well, sadly, I don't think it's legitimate. Chris, I've got a feeling that head's fake, mate. Looking on the front where the face ports are, the back, everything seems a bit off, even the decals on the back. The sim was black from what I remember, where it's slightly blue, but the big thing is those like injection ports that they have on the face. There's supposed to be a hole in the middle of those, but it's not. Essentially all flat, and then the lettering looks off on the front as well. So sadly, I know obviously the dent's not so here she is, and from a distance, and I have held a sim before, and a sim too, and to be honest, the majority of golf clubs that Taylormade bring out when it comes to head covers and heads and shafts and grips and lettering is all very similar. That being said, if this was held out like that or in the top of a bag, I don't think you would ever be able to tell that that wasn't a good deal. And when I'm normally picking up a good deal, especially on Facebook, I kind of just give it the once over and then go, thank you very much, hand them the cash, and off I go. So very rarely do I take a lot of time, unless it is like a big ticket item like this, like one of the big guys. Like if I went just to go and pick up a G425 driver from Ping, or a Callaway Epic Speed, or a Taylormade, they're the three you're going to get stung with. Scotty Cameron putters, and this is my first bit of advice, you're not going to have fake Mizuno drivers because they're just not the sought after. You will see fake Mizuno irons, however, because Mizuno are known for their irons. Taylormade, you're going to pretty much, because they are the biggest brand in the world, you're going to see fake counterfeit goods pretty much from all of them, as well as Callaway, as well as Ping. But you guys that are looking at like sets from, I don't know, Adams, Ben Ross, I don't mean to put these manufacturers down, but the lower end stuff, let's say, the more affordable stuff, you're not going to see copies with, because it's just not worth the time and effort for people to make counterfeits. Right, so I'm going to start from the top of what I look out for when trying to distinguish fake clubs. Now, I know this is obviously a fake club, so it's very easy to me go, oh, look at the difference here. But I want you to be able to do this from a TV screen, or not TV screen, but your laptop or your phone, to make sure whether it's real, and the bits that I obviously look out for. Head cover, from afar, I personally wouldn't be able to tell if this was a legitimate one or not, and especially from the crown of the driver as well. We'll actually get that out. I'll probably do the face last, because they're probably the most apparent ones, but then most people wouldn't show the face that clearly if they know it's counterfeit. Now, from a distance, with the head cover alongside it, I'm telling you now, just like I saw in that photo, or potentially even Chris saw, I wouldn't be able to tell you that's fake. For me personally, that would look legitimate. Now, if you got up close and personal with it, you can tell that sadly it is not real. But from that photo alone, taken from a distance in a dark room, I don't think anyone would be able to distinguish if that was fake or not. So my first big tip on trying to distinguish whether a golf club is real isn't at that end, is this one. This is the one for me personally that can be a telltale sign that you've got a counterfeit, especially if the price is too good. I mean, if the price is like £200 or £250 for this, then you're probably not buying a counterfeit. But what I would look for is the grip, and if it hasn't got the original grip, I will show you a listing here. It's very easy to do. You can do this for Ping and Cobra's easy, because they've got Arcos grips as standard in the top there, so it makes it a lot easier for you to go, has it got an Arcos grip? And if it has, I'm 98% sure you've got a legitimate club there in the photos, for example. And if you pick it up off Facebook and it's got an Arcos grip, people don't fake that. But with this Taylormade Sim driver, the thing that would strike me is that normally they have like Lambkin or Golf Pride, I think it's Golf Pride, Z-cord grips. I'll show you a listing here. It's very simple. Go to Golf Bidder, go to Golf Clubs for Cash, and check whether they've got that Lambkin Z-cord grip. If it has, I would say that's another sign that you got a legitimate club. This one, however, hasn't, and as you get closer, and again, you can only tell this in person, but you wouldn't be able to tell this off photos. It's got Taylormade, but you can see how the paintwork, like the grey, is filtered over onto the black. A genuine Golf Pride grip, you're just not going to get that. From the top though, however, I think if someone just took a photo of this, let me let it focus. Someone took a photo of just that, again, I would say that's legitimate, but for me, the reason the grip's a big one is because if someone was to buy a driver in the last year or so, 2 years, I mean, the Sim's been out, let's say 2 years now, very rarely have they gone through the grip. I mean, if they wanted to get a mid-size or getting a line or something else on it, then I kind of understand, but majority of the time they don't bother changing it. So if there's just a Golf Pride grip that you've never seen before, i.e. like this one, I would be wary and obviously do a bit more questioning. Now, just like the grip, the telltale sign could also be the shaft. Not always, and again, these are the things that just want to probe your questioning when it's majority of Facebook. I'm talking Facebook and Gumtree. These are the ones you're talking about, because Chris, unfortunately, messaged a gentleman after when he realised it was fake, and the guy just kept giving just like basically bullshit answers, and it's just difficult because there's realistically nothing you can do unless getting the police involved. Whereas eBay, for example, if this came through the door on the post and this is what you got, and I also recommend potentially if you're buying high value items like £200 plus, film opening boxes. A lot of my guys in the paying group do this, film opening the box, so you have proof, literal proof that that is the bit you're getting, because a lot of people go, oh, you're just trying to swap it or you're just trying to trade it. So again, that's another tip. Tensai blue shaft. What I would do if you found a great deal is type in Sim, I'll show you it here, Sim driver Tensai, and see what comes up. Now, I know that they didn't do this particular shaft in the Sim, but you're not to know that either. But what you do get to see is what is the general shaft that comes in the Sim, and the answer was the Ventus. Now they did do a Tensai, I think raw, which is like the modern version. I think it's like a bit more white down the back here. But again, if you're questioning the grip and questioning the shaft off the photos and you're trying to type it in, then that kind of makes sense. But not only that, if you were to type in Tensai Blue, you would know they're not exclusively for Taylormade, or potentially Pig or Callaway or whatever counterfeit driver you see. This isn't a legitimate Tensai. The blue, again, I wouldn't be able to tell this in photos because lighting is different. But in person, that badge there, that isn't right, and that's too light of a shade of blue. It's actually thick. Like, this shaft is really thick. It doesn't look like it's just your standard tip size for a driver. But again, all of this is off, and I'm never this careful realistically going through the photos, nor do people actually take these photos. But again, if someone's got a great deal and they're asking for a bit of money, and potentially it's been listed for a while, like, I would also question that. Now, the one that Chris found, it only been listed for 20 minutes, so you're kind of preempting, you know what, I want to go and get the deal, I want to get there quickly, I want to go and pay the guy cash so I can get it before people outbid me or get there quicker, whatever it is. So I can understand that. But if something like this has been up for like a week, or they're happy to do a deal on it, I would somewhat question why, and just ask for a few more photos. Adding salt to the wound, I think I can hear a rattle as well, hang on. Oh, delightful. I don't think this is even going to last a test when I get it. So realistically, for the test, I'm going to have to find a Sim-Max 9-degree head with, well, I guess just a Tensai blue shaft, which is going to be difficult. I think I'm just going to have to get one potentially with a Tensai raw blue shaft, because, oh, mind you, I might actually have one of these in the shed next door. How lucky would that be? Anyway, 9-degree. And again, if someone took a photo, I'm pretty sure I could take photos of this, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You know what? I actually might start taking some photos. I'll show you those now, of how this could be posted on Facebook, and you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, from here, for example, that to me looks like a Sim-Max. No different whatsoever. However, if you're to change the lighting and go a bit more in the daylight, you can just see how it's a lot more of a blue color rather than a carbon black graphite finish. Again, the lettering, everything from the top actually looks legitimate, but the face, that's the thing. The one big thing, and probably my third tip for you guys, is that they can't afford to fake technology. So if we were to go to a window, and I'll show you in the daylight, just so you have a good idea, and this goes for every manufacturer of counterfeit clubs. They can't fake the technology, because then essentially you're just designing an actual legitimate club. This was the big one, and the reason that I sent the message to Chris, these face ports, you might even seen this in Rick's video when he did the test versus the M6 or the fake ones of that, they're just stuck on. And the closer you look when it comes to the head as well, is that everything's essentially just a sticker. I don't know what material this would be made out of. I imagine it's still going to be, I don't know, titanium maybe, but then that sounds like too expensive a material to actually use. Maybe just plastic and other cheap cuts of metal. But these are all stickers. These are all for show. Again, the adjustable weight there, which does come out in the original Sim, that just essentially spins. I'm impressed they've got a little weight where it's got an Allen key. Let's actually, I might see if I can take that out. Let's turn it and see what happens. I can't actually believe the coincidence of this happening. As I literally just went to the toilet, came back to obviously carry on filming, I checked my Facebook, and Gumtree is just like a normal addict looking for deals. And I come across this Taylormade Sim 2 3-wood with cover, £80, which is a great deal. That's almost half the price. I mean, these things are still going for like £160. And I was going through the photos, and again, nothing really looked out of place until I got to the same shaft. Like, what is the chances? Let me see if I can get a zoom in on this bad boy so you guys can see. Tensai blue, exclusively for Taylormade. And the funniest thing is, I never see these ever, realistically, in the wild. And it's got the same grip as well. I didn't even realise Sim 2 fakes were out there, and I'm almost certain that this isn't the original, and that this is fake, because it just seems, this is the stuff that I kind of trying to get onto. Like, there's no indentation in the speed slot there. Normally there's like carved in. That V still just looks off in terms of the lettering. Overall, now I look at it, the head doesn't look quite right, nor does the head cover. It looks too flimsy. It doesn't look as stiff, and this is what I would do if I was questioning it. Again, it's £80. It's a good price, don't get me wrong. But you see how the head cover is just like more stiff and more well made? You don't necessarily get that kind of wrinkles. I mean, that thing looks like it's been through the washing machine like 4 or 5 times. And again, you go through the shaft, the Ventus is what you get in the Sim 2. You see that normal Taylormade Z-cord grip. all the time, and you don't have a tensile blue exclusively to Taylormade. So this was posted 18 minutes ago, and I'm so happy because hopefully you guys can now see the difference. And now it's different for every manufacturer, but the same technique I would use if I was you guys. Go on someone reputable like Golf Clubs for Cash or Golf Bidder, look at live photos, and just have a look through what other Sim 2 Maxes look like. Like here, for example, see the way the V steel is in white? The speed pocket is ingrained in there. That is the stuff I would be looking for, because it's difficult, because this is a glued head. So this is a glued head into a shaft, so it's difficult. There's no weight, so you can't really tell whether that's the stuff. The Arcos grip isn't in there, so it's difficult for a beginner to see this. But again, I'm 95% sure this is a fake. The price, the photos, the way the head cover looks, and I'm pretty certain that is just drawn on, and the V steel is not as bright, vibrant as you can see in the eBay photos here. There's even a different shade of grey as well to the head itself. So just be careful. Gumtree, Facebook, eBay, you're always going to be covered, but this kind of stuff, sadly, if you go and pay £80 for that, that's not a legitimate Taylormade club. And again, that fairway didn't have like these speed injection ports on the face, so it's even harder to tell the counterfeit hybrids as well, which is really interesting. And I can't believe I've just spotted that. So hopefully that's a bit more clarity for you guys. There's so many, don't get me wrong, like there's good deals to be had on eBay, and obviously, but there's also a lot of competition. Facebook and Gumtree is amazing for great deals out there, but you do have to be careful, and that's kind of why I want to make this video, just so you guys can just question it a tiny bit more. Let's have a look at this little port at the back here, if I can get the key in. That is, does the key actually work in it? No, so I can't actually get a key, a normal, this is just a standard pin key. That doesn't actually even fit in the bottom there, and I don't think it would do. Again, you can literally see it's almost like painted on. Like, that's just a part of the head. And this here, for example, is a sticker on the back of the head, so you could actually just peel that off away from the bottom of the driver. I think their lettering they've done incredible. I mean, I don't really want to give them much praise. I think the lettering, again, from here, I don't think you would be able to tell in a dark, dimly lit room. Again, you can see that they're putting on like fake serial codes in there, so I'd be very interested to see what that fake serial code actually meant. I imagine if you rang Taylormade, they'd tell you that that doesn't exist. Let's see if I can get the shaft out, see what the adapter looks like. And I imagine it would just be, I mean, the cheapest part of this club would be the adapter, really. But again, you're never going to get someone, if they know it's a fake, you're never going to get someone to actually do all of this for you, because they just won't be bothered. And obviously they'll know that they've been caught out. But potentially there are going to be, that guy that's selling the fairway wood, by the way, he might not know. Like, he might have been sold that. He's played golf with them. If it's lasted, I don't know, a year or so, then he probably doesn't know that it's counterfeit. I can't imagine them lasting more than a year. I went and got one of my Taylormade driver shafts. It's actually one of the ladies' ones, but obviously the adapter's exactly the same. Just so you have, hopefully you can use this video as like a bit of like a background, like if you're questioning stuff, or you want to double check what the face should look like, or the shaft should look like, or the head should look like, or even the adapters. Hopefully you can come back to this and just look for some telltale signs. Realistically though, now I put them side by side, I mean, they are very close. Now they're not, and they are different, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if that can actually fit into an original Taylormade driver head as well. So be wary if you see a tensile blue with exclusive Taylormade on the bottom of it. I'm certain, absolutely positive, if you see one of those shafts, it is a counterfeit, as Taylormade have never done that. Curiosity, and I imagine a lot of you would be upset if I didn't actually try and put it in. This is the real Taylormade adapter, I should say, from that lady's flex shaft down the bottom there into the fake head, and I'm going to tighten it up. I don't really mind. I mean, obviously it is a bit of a waste of money, as I could probably use that shaft for something, but I'm genuinely interested. I don't even know what that gunk is around the screw as well. Genuinely interested whether this will actually tighten up and be used, because you should hear a click. that has clicked in, and that is, it's definitely not flush. Let me see if I can show you. I mean, that is, I can't imagine that's going to move. No, it's not going to move. So it's in there, but you can just see if this focuses. See how it's not flush? See, I knew it was thicker. Just from the sight, it's very slight, but you see the way it's just not flush to the actual head, and the other one will be. Now, that shaft is in there, but how securely, I have no idea. And I imagine it's almost overlapping on the inside as well. Looking at the head, yeah. And again, the closer you look at the crown of this head, the more you can just tell apart, like this finishing here, especially at the top end. You wouldn't be able to tell in photos on Gumtree or Facebook, but the closer you get to it, you can just see how poorly they're being made. But obviously they need to make margin. I imagine, I don't know what this goes for. Someone let me know in the comment section below. A lot of you guys go, look at this website, they've got loads of them. I imagine they sell this for, I don't know, £80. I mean, what's worth buying? People have to generally know they're not buying a real one. So what's a real one actually, what's a fake one actually worth to someone to obviously use? I go about technology not working all the time, but the performance of this, well, if you saw Rick's original video on the M6, you know how poorly these are used. You're better off just buying an £80 second-hand golf club. And if you ever thought about buying a counterfeit club, please just go and buy like an £80 like Titleist 917 driver, or a Callaway X Hot, or a Ping G20, because they would smoke this golf club when it comes to performance. Now, obviously you can only use this as a basis for Taylormade drivers, but the big thing to take away from this video is just technology. Like, if these haven't got the little holes or don't look like actual ports like the originals, then it's probably fake. Again, they're probably not going to be highlighted well in a photo, because someone probably knows that it's not legitimate. But again, these are things that I'd be looking out for, like the actual technology, the moving weights. I've never known a fake driver to have moving weights in it. Again, it's just not worth it. Like, these big head designs are great because I imagine they're cheap to manufacture, but I can't remember or recalling there being tons of fake like M1s, because there's just too much going on in the back, or like the Epic Speed or the Epic Flash, because again, having that adjustable weighting system and getting it to look genuine, again, it's not like this where you're just gluing a top and a bottom and then putting a face on. You'd have to do the bottom, but also design as well, the tracking system. I could be wrong, but that's for my personal take. Again, this is just too round on the sole here. This is too blue as well. Things that potentially I'd be looking for, because as I said at the start, that from there looks like a Sim Max head to me. I mean, I would be fooled, there's no question. That there looks like a Sim Max head to me, potentially. I love the way it's got a little dent in it as well, just to add salt to the wound as well. You can see the dent in the bottom there. So guys, I hope you found that somewhat useful. Again, obviously Chris, not the best circumstances, but hopefully, well, I will be obviously sending you the money for the driver, so you're not out of pocket. And I've been wanting to get a hold of like a fake counterfeit club for ages anyway. So it's kind of a win-win situation for the both of us. And not only that, knowing the fact that hopefully this video is going to help quite a few guys out there not, or potentially being a bit more cautious on those sites such as Facebook or Gumtree, when you're not covered and you're just handing cash over to a random stranger to never see them again. Guys, if you like this video, leave it a like, subscribe if you are new. Catch you guys now.